Hey guys, and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today is another busy day. As you guys know, I've been traveling all over the place lately, and it was really awesome to meet a lot of you at Reefapalooza. I was super impressed at the amount of you freshwater folks that came out to meet me and to meet Joey. It was incredible, so thank you for making that effort. Today I am unpacking a fish order, which I'll show you in a minute, and I'll show you some of the new livestock. Got some interesting flowering going on in a few aquariums, and I'm going to try and control the chaos that is always the fish room. When I travel as much as I have been, things get so backlogged around here. I still have about 1,500 emails to get to. I've caught up on all my water changes but two, but when I do that I also tend to make a giant mess, so that has to be addressed. But first I wanted to talk to you guys about something personal. A really good friend of mine in the aquarium industry was recently diagnosed with a super rare form of cancer. Now, my buddy's name is Phil Edwards, and some of you may know him, and if you've ever attended an aquarium event, you've probably met him. He's worked for a whole bunch of different aquatics companies over the years, especially those focused on Planet Aquaria. In fact, he's even been a board member of the AGA, the Aquatic Gardeners Association, you know, the big contest and the live aquascaping contest. He was a board member of that from 2008 to 2014. Recently, he was diagnosed with a really rare form of cancer, and it looks like he's going to have to miss a lot of work. Now, he is married, he's got a couple of cats and several aquariums, and I don't know if any of you have ever been crippled by medical debt, but I know I have. My husband has a rare genetic condition that affects his eyes. In fact, he has to have surgery again this fall. And when you're out of work like that, even with insurance, even with disability pay, the medical bills can be absolutely staggering. So I'm going to put a link to a GoFundMe for Phil below. And if any of you guys see it in your heart to help support him, I really appreciate it personally. When my husband first got sick, a lot of my fish family really helped out, and it was the difference between us keeping our house and losing all this that I've built. Now, Phil is a humble guy, a wonderful guy, and a really dear friend of mine. So again, I'll put the link to his GoFundMe below. If you can spare anything, every little bit helps. But now on to fish. I have been a busy beaver. In the upcoming weeks, you're going to see me put in or start my greenhouse. You're going to see me work on expanding my carnivorous plant collection, as well as making my own potting mixes, splitting some of the plants, things like that. I'm going to pull some of the fish from the bins to show you guys in the upcoming weeks. And I'm also getting ready to travel again, so there'll be more of that. I have a ton of footage still left to sort through from Reefapalooza, as well as Oregon and Washington State. So it's going to be a busy few weeks of videos. But I have a bunch of neat stuff that I got in today that I'm excited to show you, so let's get started. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today I am unpacking some fish. As you guys know, I have been traveling like a crazy lady. I really prefer to be home for at least the first 2 weeks after I get in new fish. This way I can, you know, really closely supervise their quarantine and make sure there's not any issues, or address them if they arise. So let's see what I got today. I got in two boxes of fun stuff. I got in Nanostomus mortonthaueri, the coral red pencilfish. They look okay. I'll unpack them in a minute. I got in some ember tetras. Oh my goodness, these guys are tiny. Those were like baby embers. I really don't like it when suppliers sell fish that small. But what can you do? Ooh, you guys have been asking me for my longfin white clouds, and because my fry are so small, I picked up just a few to have to offer for those of you that have been the most, we'll say, persistent. They really are fantastic for, oh, yes. These are Petroichthys species Rosie, a little teeny tiny hovering loach. That really happened to be one of my favorites, and they're extremely suitable for a small aquarium. And they're interesting because the males have a sexual, or the fish themselves have a sexual dimorphism in color. Forgot I had ordered those. That was exciting for a minute there. And I'm sure you guys are noticing that I'm not really doing any sort of acclimation. I'll link you guys to the video as to why I do things the way I do. Put a little card so that if anyone's curious that's new to the channel, they can see why I do things the way I do. Now, things have been, forgot I ordered these too. These are Coreodorus histatus, the little tail spot cory. Now, things have been wicked busy around here. As you guys know, I have been traveling and traveling and traveling. So it makes it really difficult to stock a lot of really cool critters when you're not home. I was excited about these too. These are clown killies. And I don't work with a whole lot of killifish species, mainly because I don't use lids on most of my tanks. But clown killies are a notable exception for me. I don't find them to be particularly prone to jumping, and they're absolutely adorable. I got in restock of a lot of stuff that I just like to keep in stock, things like chili rasboras, the ember tetras, some of the cubitai, and SB rasboras, things like that. The fish that I consider sort of staples for the nano aquarium, try and always keep those in stock. I got in more marginatus pencils. They're actually my favorite. They're really mild-mannered. They have a very subtle red coloration with nice lateral lines. Really great little fish. I especially like to keep them with the pistos. Or dwarf cories, tetras, etc. I'll show all you guys all these various fish in just a few minutes. Pararis urophthalmoides. Now, as you guys probably see, the tanks that I'm putting fish into have that masking tape tag facing up, and that's how I know which tanks are empty and have been cleaned and are ready for new fish. I got in a Pistogramma panduro. Another thing I get asked all the time is if I medicate my fish, and I only do if I see a reason to medicate. This is a Pistogramma mendezi. They get really nice long dorsal extensions. They're a little less flashy, but I personally prefer the fish that are a little less flashy. Well, the ones that are naturally flashy. Let me tell you, those mendezi have some nice color on their cheeks. So I'm just going to finish putting away these fish, and then we'll label the tanks and chat a little bit more. So a local guy named Stan had to have back surgery, so I went over to his house yesterday and caught all his young rams to bring back here. As you can see, they're quite nice, and several of them are absolutely of breeding size. I mean, the color on these fish is just incredible, especially that big one, these guys. So since these rummies and SIDS are well done quarantine, and this tank has a heater, and these fish came from a person who I know bred them himself, I added them right in here. Generally speaking, I like to keep everything in its own species tank for quarantine. They also provided me with fry. This is all ram fry, one spawn. Tons and tons and tons of them. Now they haven't been fed yet. The neat thing about fry is once you feed them, you can see what they've eaten in their belly. Yesterday they were pink because they ate baby brine. Just got in chili rasboras. It'll take them a little bit to color up. They're in this tank with rosy loaches. I find that those two quarantine really, really well together. I had plenty of tank space. I just opted to put them together. See a rosy loach peeking out at the bottom. Still have gourami, but because I don't have as many, I have combined the males and females at this point. This tank's light dyed, but we'll try and take a look anyway. These are the Marginatus pencils, one of my favorite pencils. Up here at the surface, you can see all the little clown killies. One of the reasons I chose this tank for them is it has that mat of duckweed, which will make them less prone to jumping. Got in the Ember Tetras. They look fantastic, really great color already. One of my favorite little tetras for a nano aquarium. Got in Hastatus cories. Harlequin rasboras, which are a special order. Kubatai, to the neon yellow or neon green rasbora. Long fin white clouds, which are super nice. Empty tank, and then the ever shy CPDs that I won't ever see are in there. 150 is looking great still. The big boys are begging for food still. Let's see what else we got. These are the coral red pencils. When they settle in, their color is staggeringly good. There's also a bunch of those Apistos in here, but they appear to be hiding at the moment. Little SB rasboras. Another one of my favorites. These are still a little stressed, so they're not exhibiting their best coloration. Shell dweller tank. Still doing great. Wanted to show you guys too, the lace plant I put in my crib tank is flowering. It's this plant, Madagascar lace plant, Aponogeton madagascarensis or something like that. But I thought it's kind of cool. It has a big flower up there. All in all, I would say the mess level is low to moderate. The tanks are looking pretty good. I've been cleaning them since I've been home. I am home for about 2 weeks, and then I am heading up to Vermont for a family vacation, which is much needed. We haven't had one in almost 10 years. So I'm really looking forward to hanging out with my family and honestly not doing anything fishy for at least a few days. As always, I really want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch and support my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Summer tubbing's going awesome, and I have a lot of really exciting things that I'm going to make, do, and present to you guys this summer and fall. Just a reminder, if you guys have it in you, or if you are planning to donate to me this week, please take a minute and click on the link for my buddy Phil and show him some fish fam love. Cancer is a scary thing, and medical debt is absolutely terrifying, especially when you're trying to maintain a household. illness is stressful enough. None of us should ever have to deal with this crippling amount of debt. As always, thanks again for watching. Let me know if you have any comments, suggestions, or questions. Make sure you stop by my Instagram, where I post tons of pictures of my adventures and sort of the daily grind of the fish room, and sometimes my children as well. Make sure you stop by my Facebook and my website, MsJinx.com, where you can find my upcoming speaking engagements and information on all things nano.